A brand has sent me this steam cleaner to try and share my experience with you. I've been wanting to try one of these for a while, so today I'm finally unboxing it and seeing if it actually makes cleaning easier. You have the different brushes for harder surfaces, smaller attachments for getting into corners, a larger attachment for things like windows and countertops, and even softer attachments for fabrics and upholstery. And because there are so many attachments, I was a little worried I'd have to Google what each one was for, but thankfully the manual actually shows you which attachments to use for different surfaces and cleaning jobs. Another thing I noticed is how compact this actually is. I expected a steam cleaner like this to take up a ton of space, but the actual machine is pretty small and everything can be stored together. If you don't have a ton of storage space, I feel like this is a really nice option because you're getting all these different attachments without having a huge cleaning machine taking over a closet. And because it has a handle, you can just pick it up and carry it from room to room. It comes with an extended attachment. You can add the extension when you need a little more reach, which is especially helpful for higher areas, further corners, or places where you just don't want to be bending and reaching as much. Now let me show you some of the attachments because this is honestly where I think the steamer gets really useful. First, you have these hard bristle brush attachments. These are the ones I'd reach for when I'm dealing with tougher, stuck on dirt or grime on harder surfaces. Then you have the softer nylon brush, which is better for surfaces where you want something a little gentler while still getting some scrubbing action. There's also this larger round brush, which is great for bigger flat areas. Then you have these smaller paddle style attachments, which are really nice for getting into small areas. And then there's this larger window attachment, which I was really excited to try because I wanted to see how it would work on my windows. It also comes with 3 soft covers that go over this attachment, so instead of using the harder surface, you can put the soft cover on and use it on things like couches, fabric, and other upholstered surfaces. Then you also get a scraper, which is perfect when you have dried on dirt or debris that needs a little extra help coming off. So there are definitely a lot of options depending on what you're cleaning. Before using it, you just add cold water into the water tank. The tank holds about 1.25 liters, so you can fill it up and have a pretty good amount of water to work with. I like that you don't have to add any cleaning solution or chemicals to the tank. It's just water and the machine uses the steam to do the cleaning. Once you turn it on, it heats up pretty quickly, so you don't have to sit around waiting forever before you can actually start cleaning. So I'm starting with my window frame because this is one of those areas that I feel like gets dirty but is so easy to overlook. I'm using the steamer directly on the metal frame, and honestly watching the dirt loosen up is so satisfying. You can see the grime lifting as I go over it with the steam. And what I like about using steam here is that I'm not sitting there scrubbing this tiny area over and over with a bunch of different products. I'm just slowly moving the steamer across the frame and letting the steam loosen everything up. And look at this. This is all the dirt that was sitting around the frame. I'm using the little cleaner cloth that comes with it to wipe everything down afterward, and you can really see the difference. I feel like this is exactly the type of cleaning where a steam cleaner makes sense because these little crevices can be so annoying to get into with a regular cloth. Next, I wanted to try the actual window attachment. I switched out the smaller head for the window attachment, and this gives you a much larger surface area to work with. I'm steaming across the glass and then wiping away the moisture and loosen dirt as I go. I especially like having a larger attachment for windows because you can cover more area at once instead of going over every little section with a tiny brush. And honestly, cleaning windows is one of those chores I usually put off, so anything that makes the process feel quicker and easier is a win for me. I'm moving on to something that needs a little more scrubbing, and that's my oven griddle. For this, I'm switching to one of the harder brush attachments because I want the extra scrubbing power on the stuck-on buildup. I'm going over the surface with the steam first and then working the brush across the areas that need a little more attention. And again, look at what's coming off. I love these cleaning moments where you can actually see the dirt coming off because it makes you feel like you're finally getting somewhere. Then I wanted to try one of the softer attachments, so I put one of the soft covers over the larger attachment and used it on my couch. I like that you can switch from cleaning hard surfaces to something like upholstery just by changing the attachment. I'm just slowly moving it across the couch and letting the steam do the work. And having the soft cover over the attachment makes it much more suitable for this type of surface. Overall, I'm honestly really impressed with how versatile this little steamer is. I love that I can carry it around the house with the handle, switch out the attachments depending on what I'm cleaning, and get into those small, dirty spaces that are usually such a pain. I definitely think this is worth checking out.